Nature and all it offers is integral to our health, and we have a responsibility to be good stewards to the resources loaned to us. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Audrey Williams. It's Earth Day 2022, and this year's theme is Invest in Your Planet. We have a lot to share with you today, including ways to preserve our environment to make Jamaica and the world a great place to live. So sit back, relax, and don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss this.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
I only way of celebrating it. They say the people them in them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, oh no, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal pants of it, you know. Medal. Amount of tongue we give them, you know.
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
Yeah, I don't know the app to get the updates then.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, April 22, 2022. Jamaica's capacity to continue responding to the COVID-19 pandemic has been boosted by $40 million in healthcare equipment and supplies. The donation comes from the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, and was presented to the Ministry of Health and Wellness on Wednesday. Items include nebulizers for children, computers and tablets, various oxygen equipment, blood glucose monitors, and digital blood pressure machines. 30,000 COVID-19 rapid antigen diagnostic test kits are also provided.
We're providing items that are critical for Jamaica's current stage of the COVID-19 response, and will continue strengthening preparedness and for future health emergencies.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness continues, of course, to welcome these partnerships that we have had, and PAHO, WHO being an absolutely critical one, working with us to strengthen our delivery of public health services.
The Transport Authority will be revising the requirements for the licensing of public passenger vehicles to ensure better screening and assessment of driving capabilities. Minister of Transport and Mining Audley Shaw says he has started discussions with the Transport Authority and the Island Traffic Authority to see this through.
Transport sector is a critical one, and our operators must perform with the utmost integrity and provide quality service. The Island Traffic Authority and the Jamaica Constabulary Force will continue to intensify its crime operations to enforce the law in the traffic environment. Enough is enough.
Minister Shaw was delivering the keynote address at the recent 5th anniversary celebrations of 876 on-the-go taxi service held at the University of Technology. He says the ministry's road safety unit is also conducting sessions in schools to encourage a culture of good driving practice. The Ministry of Education and Youth, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, and Hear the Children's Cry Foundation have renewed their commitment to ensuring missing children can be quickly found. A memorandum of understanding was signed by all three stakeholders at the Terra Nova Hotel in Kingston recently.
The Ananda Alert System, implemented in 2009 to assist in ensuring the safe and speedy recovery of missing children, has seen a relatively high return and recovery rate. In fact, it's about 85 to 90%.
Convener of Hear the Children's Cry, Betty Ann Blaine, is urging the community to join in the mission.
For the Ananda Alert to work optimally, it requires, and you've said it several times, it requires all Jamaican citizens to do their part. Parents, families, communities, and the wider Jamaican society.
Ananda alerts are sent through emails, social media, digital screens, and now text messages. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry is launching a program called What Should My Child Know and Do to help parents get involved in their children's education. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams made the announcement during her recent contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament.
This will allow parents to track how their children are doing, but also give them the knowledge about what their children should know and do, and by what age they should know and do these things. This will allow more timely intervention and a closer working relationship with the practitioners and the parents.
The program is to focus on 4 areas: reading, language, physical and emotional development. And finally, giving children a voice and a way to be heard will be the focus of this year's Child Month celebrations. Convener of Hear the Children's Cry, Betty Ann Blaine, says the 2022 theme, Listen Up, Children's Voices Matter, is expected to be a catalyst for change. She was addressing this week's official launch of Child Month, which is observed in May of each year.
I'm not sure how many of us understand, and that includes even educators, that when we listen to children, and when we give them a voice, we are ensuring and enhancing their academic potential and growth, fueling their critical thinking skills, and propelling them along a path of personal and professional success, not to mention, as well, the social and interpersonal skills they learn.
Chief Executive Officer of the National Parenting Support Commission, Kesia Carr, brought greetings on behalf of the Minister of Education and Youth, Favour Williams.
As a society, we must recognize and appreciate the fact that children's perspectives matter. Too many are being socialized to suffer in silence, and we need to provide them with the opportunity to speak up and speak out on matters that affect them.
The flagship activities for Child Month 2022 start with the National Church Service on May 1 at the Eastwood Park New Testament Church of God. Churches island-wide are being asked to dedicate their first Sunday or Sabbath in May to the children. On National Children's Day, Friday, May 20, members of the public are asked to wear sunshine yellow and treat children extra special. The National Child Month Committee will host Picnic Party live and direct, giving children 6 to 17 years an opportunity to showcase their talents through dance, poetry, songs, and any other art form. The National Day of Prayer for the Nation's Children is Wednesday, May 25 at the Trinity Moravian Church in Kingston. On Tuesday, May 31, several households will receive care packages distributed by members of the National Child Month Committee. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The travel file application was created by the Transport Authority for the protection of the commuting public. Please download the travel file application on the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. Once you download the application, put in your phone number, register the application under your phone number, and then you'll be able to verify the license plate that you're going in. Once you verify the license plate and the information of the vehicle, you will then be able to share that trip of the vehicle that you're in. And if there is difficulty on the trip, you will then be able to push a panic button and share your location with others as well. Download the application, give us our feedback at customerservice@ta.org.jm. Don't forget, it's free to download, free to use.
The President of the Republic of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, and Prime Minister Andrew Holness talked about development plans at the recent Think Jamaica 2022 event. The event and President Kagame's state visit now belong to history, but what they discussed remain relevant and important. Let's take a look.
The Republic of Rwanda is considered one of the cleanest countries in the world. In what ways could Rwanda partner with Jamaica to move in a similar direction?
It's again, you know, in our case, how we started was here an issue of mindset change. And this can happen anywhere and can even happen better and faster with the partnership. Once there is this mindset change that there are things we can do for ourselves that are beneficial. In fact, to quickly give you an example, in our own country, when we started this program of umuganda, you know, cleaning up and working together and elimination of plastics across our country, and which started way back, more than 15 years ago. We would tell our people and even some leaders that while in Rwanda we have needed the donor communities to provide the funds for education, for health, for this in partnership, do we really need any help or any money to just clean our homestead? This is what we... So, yeah, we always saw, when I'm sure everyone, when we were young kids, in our homes, we used to see our mothers or aunties, and you know, doing cleaning up around the homestead. Why don't we do it where we live? Why don't we do it for our country? Why don't we? So you can look at the homestead as, you know, a form of our country, with the population as families that inhabit that homestead. So here again, it's a sharing of experience and the best practices, and people locking in onto saying these are things we can do, and they are important and they make sense, and why don't we do them?
Absolutely. Mindset change. Thank you, Mr. President. Mindset change. So, Prime Minister, do you have a view on the Umuganda program, or?
I mean, the simple thing is just to say ditto.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I totally endorse. But just goes back to the point of just being very practical, very deliberate, and just getting things done on a performance-based basis, and recognizing the urgency of the situation. And more than that, recognizing that we have agency. We can do it for ourselves. We should own the problem, and we can do our little part in our little community, which will have an impact nationally, which is the essence of the Umuganda program. Each person doing their part for their community and for their country.
Absolutely, wonderful. So we don't have to wait for Labor Day, Prime Minister. We can do it for ourselves. We can recognize it. Absolutely. We're looking forward to taking our next question from the floor. So welcome, sir.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Donovan Wignall, member of the Partnership Council and president of the MSME Alliance. My question is for President Kagame. What are the major driving forces behind your country's remarkable success in moving its GDP from 6.12 billion in 2010 to 10.38 billion in 2020, over 68% growth?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The major drivers of our GDP have been agriculture, services, manufacturing. Because if you look at agriculture alone, it employs about 70% of our, adult population. And so what we did, therefore, was to try and add value to that, to whatever we are doing, whether it is production of coffee, tea, and in fact, we are in Rwanda, we are food self-sufficient. We even produce just the local consumption. There is sufficient food and we export to our neighbors. And then we export these high-value crops like coffee, tea, and get money from that. Then tourism, of course, is another part that has been driving our GDP and growing it very fast. Our tourism is necessarily going to be different from, let's say, our neighbors. Maybe it could be different from what you have here, but of course there are always going to be similarities. We are a small country, very densely populated. We have about 450 people per square kilometer. It's a small country, relatively big population. We have 13 plus minus 13 million. So that's already high for a very small country. Just 26, they say it is the size of Maryland. That is 26,338 square kilometers. You pack in 13. So we have to always choose. So in tourism, we have selected high-end tourism. The offering is unique, is precious, so people pay high for it. So tourism, agriculture, manufacturing, the services, all these have driven our economy very fast.
Excellent. And of course, domestic food sufficiency is part of that foundation, exporting at the high end and providing the unique value proposition in respect of tourism. It's wonderful, wonderful for us to learn from.
Keeping our environment clean is not solely beneficial to us, but also our future Jamaicans. Let's look at ways to join this movement by starting in your own space. Also grab someone with you. We're all in this together.
Environmental protection is an ongoing preoccupation of the government.
It is a challenge to balance jobs and economic income and growth in the short term and for longer term sustainability. We in Jamaica have had to make tough decisions, but the decisions that we have made ultimately are in the interest of our environment.
That commitment can be seen through the various legislation and policies that have been enacted and implemented. It's all in a bid to maintain Jamaica's healthy natural environment. A major plank of government's environmental stewardship is its introduction of a ban on plastics. Since January 1, 2019, Jamaica has introduced a prohibition on the import, distribution, manufacture, and use of commercial quantities of single-use plastics on a phased basis. There's evidence of buy-in from all sectors of society, which has been bearing fruit. The latest partner in the plastic management drive is global Anunnaki Tech Enterprise Limited, GATE. Since 2019, the Kingston-based business services, research and product development company, GATE, has been getting involved in environmental protection. With over 5,000 pounds of plastics collected, the company expanded its involvement by staging a recent coastal cleanup and plastic recycling drive along the Palisades Port Royal protected area. With the help of student volunteers, the company collects plastic bottles that are then repurposed by Recycling Partners of Jamaica Limited.
The purpose of doing the cleanups is to keep the country clean, and as well, one of the main reasons to look at recycling. So the reason for the coastal cleanups is to keep the environment clean and think about the environment, because protecting the environment saves lives.
Several Kingston-based schools participated, including Alpha Primary, Augustown Primary, New Providence Primary, Eltham High, Camperdown High, St. Hughes High, and Almond Town Primary.
It is important to create an awareness for especially the schoolers, because they will be the consumers, and they are the consumers of these products, and they will be the one to take care of the environment later on as we go forward.
Together, the small group of masked and sanitized students collected more than 120 pounds of plastic bottles.
I hadn't had the opportunity to actually participate in other extracurricular activities since COVID-19. I decided to participate in local recycling, of course, and it has taught me a lot, such as teamwork, building the environment, giving back, of course, and taking initiatives.
I have to learn to keep it clean because we're the ones living in it and we're going to get affected in the end.
And there's more to come.
There's a partnership going on with a company in England and some Jamaican sponsors that are looking in towards doing a beautification project for the community of Hermitage and Augustown, the greater Augustown, the entire Augustown. And so I have decided to partner with them and to create one team that will create awareness for everyone. And we're also organizing a community competition, as I mentioned, in order to create full awareness.
Community competitions on recycling and beautification are planned for other communities.
It's very important to continue these cleanups because if we don't have the safe and clean air to breathe and water to drink, it doesn't make sense. Life will cease.
You too can help the environment by keeping your corner of the rock clean. At home, separate your plastic bottles from your regular domestic waste and drop it off at a recycling site. On the road, resist the urge to discard your plastic bottles anywhere. Keep it until you're able to place it into a garbage receptacle. We all have a part to play. Let's stay true to our National Development Plan by making Jamaica the place of choice to live in a healthy, natural environment.
It's known as Jamaica's 9th largest parish and home of one of our national heroes, Paul Bogle. Our next feature shows how one of our parishes that has been moving toward a more sustainable environment is now expected to be another prime tourist attraction.
Visions of a coffee trail and a Bath butterfly farm are among a decade-long plan to lure tourists to the parish of St. Thomas. It's being considered as the Pearl of the East. Tapped for its rich culture and unspoiled natural beauty, St. Thomas is forecast as the next tourism frontier. Realizing its potential, the Ministry of Tourism has embarked on an initiative to develop the parish.
The study has been done, the documents are before us. The St. Thomas Destination Development and Management Plan has been completed and will be unveiled within this fiscal year. The plan has identified 51 projects for implementation over the decade to 2030, of which 40 projects will be led by the Ministry of Tourism. It involves so many moving parts that have to come together, and it's a multi-sectoral approach. In other words, it's all hands on deck. The destination assessment of St. Thomas identified that the parish has numerous attractions and places suitable for development of tourist accommodation of various types, which should appeal to a wide cross-section of prospective visitors.
23 priority initiatives have been identified for development. Among these are the Morant Bay Historic District Project. This will involve restoring the historic buildings and monuments in Morant Bay Square in honor of national heroes Paul Bogle and George William Gordon. Further east in the parish, the ministry will seek to establish the Pera Eco Resort Village and Golf Course to feature a marina, super yacht facilities, horseback riding and other amenities. To ensure that these projects come to fruition, Priority Initiative 23 is to attract investors and implementation partners. The ministry is targeting local and foreign investments to develop infrastructure, tourism attractions, and experiences in St. Thomas.
Its close proximity to Kingston, and especially to the Norman Manley International Airport, suggests that the considerable tourism development is possible there, which will serve as a catalyst for the wider social and economic development of the parish.
The plan speaks to all sectors in the parish benefiting from tourism, providing economic viability in communities beyond Jamaica's traditional resort areas.
We want to introduce our visitors to more community tourism experiences. This increased variety of experience will give the visitor the feeling of having a multi-destination vacation without ever leaving our shores. Our new marketing packages will encourage our visitors to take excursions to local shopping establishments, restaurants, entertainment facilities, and bars. We will also encourage them to wander along our beaches, rivers, or local fishing villages. Critical, in fact, in our shift to increase awareness of our community tourism offering will be a targeted campaign focused on our many cultural and heritage assets. We know that St. Thomas will take some time as we grow. We have to deal with zoning there. We have to deal with a lot of environmental issues that we'll have to settle. There's infrastructure that needs to be developed. Water to be developed in the areas, electricity, and then to look at product development in a big way. Hotels to be built, villas, parks, gardens, and then to really develop in my mind, the signature product for the parish, the bath fountain. Resetting the Jamaican tourism, we'll identify and establish innovative policies, systems, protocols, and standards that assure our visitors a safe, secure, and seamless experience while building out a new national tourism model based on a diversified portfolio of unique and authentic attractions and activities which draw heavily on the Jamaica's natural and cultural assets.
A created home made for us, and yet we cannot fix it. But let's start here by cleaning it up so we can finally feel it. When we think about our earth, we should feel a sense of belonging and inspiration from the melodies it shares with us every day. It's Earth Day, and the theme for 2022 is Invest in Our Planet. This theme was established to encourage governments, corporations, and citizens of the world to follow more sustainable practices and to play an active role in the Earth's well-being. Let's be inspired this Earth Day to clean up the plastic in our neighborhoods, plant a tree, reduce, reuse, and recycle, including in our gardens, conserve water, and get the children involved. And while we're working on preserving our planet, let's preserve our island. Let's work to make Jamaica a place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Remember, it's important to celebrate and sustain our environment. Our land is a beautiful place, after all. We've come to the end of our program. Get a recap of all you saw here and more on our YouTube channel. Also, feel free to visit our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for news you can use. In the words of Bill Nye, to leave the world better than you found it, sometimes you have to pick up other people's trash. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.